Cowgirl here with Cowgirl Motorsports. This is a how-to video. Actually, this is a video how I built my all-terrain yard tractor, Redneck's Pride, and what inspiration I got, what ideas I got, and this is when I got the tractor. That's how it looked. This is my all-terrain yard tractor, Redneck's Pride. It is a 2004 DYT 4000. This is actually the stock version of it, how it was originally was. So you know how it looks stock? Well, this was originally a 4-shift hydro. I converted it over to 4-shift. I mean foot control. So how I got started in this hobby is I found Fearless Front's channel. That's where I got the bigger front wheel ideas and some ideas. Several other people like Murray Mayhem, RIL365. He used to live about 4 hours from, I think 3 hours away from me from the Canadian border. Lived up in Canada. Who else? Like I said, several other people I don't remember offhand. Redneck Computer Geek. So this video is give you ideas how I built my tractor to help people out on YouTube that want to get into this hobby and some other stuff. If you want, go into my other videos, shows you how I did my lockers, bunch of update videos. And so I think, yeah, 2011 I started into this hobby, built my first off-road yard tractor, lawn tractor out of one of these tractors. It was a 1997 green Craftsman, exactly like this. And it had a second gen axle bracket. I believe this has a first gen axle bracket. Yeah, this has a first gen axle bracket, the welded ones. Mine had the second gen axle bracket. So that's how I started, is with one of these tractors. I built 2 versions of these. So the reason I use these tractors is because I like the body design. I got 3 other ones I use and 6 that I'm going to build into. I love the D-Series tractors, but that's going to be in a separate video. I like the frames. Like Murray's other tractors, they do not have the full frame. They end at the front axle. Like these have the full frame. And cast iron front axles. And the only thing original left on this tractor is the floor pan and the console. When I first built this, it was all original. I did my extra spider locker. I had to use 930 gears. Used the front axle, cast iron, everything was original. Beat the crap out of the tractor. On these frames, these are notorious to bend right here, and I bent mine bad. I built a LT 1000 when I first built this, and it bent in the same spot. So that's one of the weak points of the tractor. Only weak points. Well, the third gen axle bracket is a weak point too. And let me show you what I'm talking about. This is a third gen axle bracket. That tractor right there has the first gen. The first gens were welded in. This is a third gen. See how small that bolt is? There is a rubber bushing in there, and it wears out and it causes the axle to go like that. This is a second gen axle bracket. Look how big that thing is. Bolt. Yeah. That's what I use for my off-road tractors and any custom built tractor I use, because I do not like the third gen axle bracket. This has a metal bushing they use, so I just swap out the cast iron and do the second gen axle brackets. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 sitting on that tractor. So that's what you need to do if you build one of these tractors, a 2001 and up lawn tractor or yard tractor. Tires and rims. Before I forget, these hubs are off of a Club Cadet, a 2006 1045 LT. They're rear hubs, and I had to drill them out because it has the MTD style rear brain fart, rear axles. So you have to drill them out, and this is what I use on my all-terrain yard tractor. The front tires are, I can't pronounce that word, they're 19.7 by 8s. Fearless Front uses these tires on his rear, and these are front tires. Got these off Craigslist, got those off Craigslist. These are go-kart rims, I think 4x4, bolt Proudon. So these tires work good. Back tires I use is 22 by 11 by 8s Mudbusters, and these do really good in the mud and up in the trails, up in the woods. I highly recommend these tires. It's the only tires I ever used. And stock lawn tractor Lexus AYP manufactured rims. You can tell this thing's a little beat up. I don't care, it's an off-road tractor. People call them mud motors, but a lot of people know me, and these are actually tractors, not motors, because that's a tractor with a attachment on it, mower deck attachment on it. So yeah, tires, and if I were you, run a cast iron front axle. Now to the underneath. So like I said, these are notorious to bend right here, and so I did not get any inspiration from nobody off of Facebook. This was my idea, and I know lawn tractor racers stiffen up the frames too. So what I did is bought a 6-foot chunk of flat stock, 1/4 inch, and what you need to do is cut it 3-foot section, drill some holes, then frame rail it. I had this is the frame is actually a 2002 Pull-On Pro frame, exact same, well, Lexus AYP manufactured Pull-On Pros too, so, and second gen steering. So, and I put cross members in just to stiffen up the frame. That one and Get Her Done and Northern Rebel are all frame railed too and cross membered. And if I build a tractor like that, another tractor, they will get frame railed, because these aren't, like I said, these are notorious to bend right here. Bumper. This is stock Husqvarna bumper, and if you want, I highly advise you to run a bumper, because yeah, it's kind of bent, but like I said, 3rd gen axle, which I might have to tighten up that a little bit. I run stock muffler, and you can tell this thing's a little bent because I go up in the woods and go through brush and hit logs and all that. That's how that thing's bent. Cast iron. If you run a LT1000, 2000 like, or a DLT 3000, you will have these kind of tie rods, and these are notorious to bend. Mower Outlaw did a video, I think a few weeks ago, on this, and he welded up some stuff to strengthen. With me, I was lucky and had one of these, and these do not bend, but this is on my stock DYT 4000. Look for these kind of tie rods. These do not bend at all, and tire stops. Steering stops. That's how I did mine, and here's the hubs that I use. I just grease these things up and put a whole bunch of washers on there. So the drivetrain, I run 5-inch. Got this from Surplus, Tractor Surplus, or Surplus, I don't remember. And a lot of people say don't run aluminum, don't run aluminum. Well, I run aluminum, and it's holding up good. I run the stock size belt on my tractors. So I could go to a Sears store, get a stock belt for this, and it'll fit, because I run stock clutch with 2 extra springs, and you need to do this. Run 2 extra springs. Stock belt, stock pulley, and 2 extra idler pulleys. And the reason I run 2 extra idler pulleys, take up the slack, plus, if you can see, it gives you more grip on the rear, and this is actually plenty good. And I don't know if I said about 2nd gen, yeah, I did say 2nd gen steering. They're really strong steerings. They won't pop like or skip like 1st gen steering, because these are notorious for clipping, chipping teeth, skipping. This is actually a 2001, and in 2001 they actually came out with 2nd gen steering. So only weak point on 2nd gen steerings are this likes to bend, because I bent a few, and this one's slightly bent. I don't know if you can tell, it's slightly bent. So just watch what you do. I still run the stock retainer. On transmission, this is an MST 206, oil filled with 930 spider gears, 930 extra spider gears, and 930 axle gears. That's how I do my locker. I do have a video of how I did the locker. This, I run these mounts. One, actually, I think I do have the mount I hate on here. Yeah, that mount, I don't run that kind of mount, so I converted over to the other mount. To those kind of mounts. And the reason I run 206 is because these are oil filled and it has a gear drive reverse, not a reverse chain. So, and the stock tank, actually not a stock tank, I have it cut out for storage. And these how the tires look. The rear end's a little bit tweaked, but because I can't run the frame rails all the way up, so that's the underside of what I did on my off-road yard tractor. So back on four wheels, the reason I don't have the original frame because the original frame bent on this. So like I said, I had put a 2002 Pull-On Pro frame. Electrolux AYP manufactured that, and I'll prove that Electrolux and Fridge Air manufactured Pull-On Pros. This is off of a Pull-On Pro, and it says Electrolux Home Products. They owned AYP. That's the reason I call them Electrolux AYP. This is off of a Pull-On tractor. And this is off of another Pull-On Pro tractor. And Electrolux owned this company too. Fridge Air. Yeah. Electrolux was weird. This is off of another Pull-On. So I gotta put this. I think it just says Pull-On Pro on it. Let's check. Nope. Fridge Air. And this is actually a Pull-On. So it says, yeah, it says Fridge Air. So yeah. Electrolux was weird. Owned several companies. So the dash is off of a 2000. No, it was a 2000 GT. Actually a 98 GT 3000 because I broke the other dash. The hood is off of a GT 3000. 98 or 99. So a lot of universal parts you could use. I do not run the stock tank. I use this for storage. So we're gonna open this. I have the battery sitting up front, a MTD tank that I use. That's only I love it. Only thing I love about MTD is the tanks and engines, the Briggs engines. And second gen steering. This is completely rewired. All the safety switches are out. I have it wired up to the ignition switch. A lot of people run push button starts and kill switches. I decided to just run it off the ignition switch, like on this tractor. I have it wired up to the old solenoid, the old PTO. Gonna run that system too, and just use the key switch as a start switch and the PTO button as a kill switch, or a push button and a kill switch, which I will never run again. Okay, where else? I run strictly Briggs 31 to 32, 33 cubic inch engines. And with oil filter pressure lube systems. I ran 28 cubic inch motors. They're still good motors, but I prefer the 31 cubic inch motors and the 33s with the oil pressure lube systems. And I will not run flatheads 28s. Gas pedal. This I got off of RWOW 365. I did not get this idea from Fearless Front. The front wheels were off of Fearless Front. The rear wheels were off some other YouTubers that I don't remember. So yeah, the gas pedal was I got from RWOW 365. It's a brake handle, and this is how I have it hooked up. I drilled a bigger hole and took the cable up and put a little stop there, and this is what spring I use to have it hooked up. So if you really want to build one of these, is bigger front tires or the 8-inch GT rims, and you could cut the turf savers. They get good traction, but I ended up getting these off of Craigslist, so I use mud busters. It is a necessity to lock your transmission. Lock the diff in it. Gas pedal, because you're full throttle, you roll this thing and it goes back up on the four wheels and it's still running, and you don't have a gas pedal, that thing's gonna be going. I mean, yeah. So yeah, gas pedal. This thing, I run 5.5 with 22s. The final ratio in the transmission is 13.5 to 1, and top speed is 16 miles per hour. And in first gear idle, it runs really good up on my trails. So this video is just to give you some ideas how to build a all-terrain mud tractor, yard tractor. Build out of one of these, because I've built a tractor like this out of one of these tractors. I will not run a GT or a Sears tractor or anything with first gen steering as a mud all-terrain tractor. Reason being is because the GTs are too heavy, tapered shafts. I just don't like it. And the Sears tractors, I'm a Sears collector, and I won't do it. Like, yeah, these are too heavy to run. Well, I'm gonna build it into an overland tractor. It ain't gonna be a mud tractor. It's gonna be like Fearless Front Sears and Doc Sprocket's tractors too. So yeah, these are cheap to build, really fun, and like I said, lock the transmissions, pulley swap them, gas pedal, tires. That's the minimum you have to do, and possibly rewire, and you will have a blast, because I've been doing this for the last 6 years. I think it was in 2002 I ended up getting a stock Kagro Noma built tractor, and First time ever off-road, I aired down the stock Surf Saver tires and had a blast. Open diff 930 Peerless transmission in it, 28 cubic inch, 14.5 overhead valve Briggs, and I just absolutely had a blast. Then life happened, and I got back into this hobby in 2011, 8 years later. So if you got any questions, comment below, subscribe to this channel, because I'm going to do some more builds, and I'm going to explain why I only use Craftsman tractors, Roper, Lexus AYP, and Husqvarna manufactured tractors. So look for that video. Oh yeah, and if you really want to frame rail these tractors, because like I said, they are notorious to bend right here if you push them hard. So like I said, rate, comment if you got any questions, and until next time, Redneck up, Rebel forever.